Hi, here's a little follow-up to my last week clip about our family. You remember I let you see a photograph when all the family came up from Warrington and they were at the front door in Cross Street. Well, one of those days were there, they came up to Dawson Park. This is Dawson Park here in this photo. This is what it's like now. That's Hall Street there, and it's a shop there right at the corner of the park here. That's Abbotsford Street, and it's the same in this photo here. That's Abbotsford Street in the background. I think this photograph here was taken somewhere in this area here. I've tried to go with the chimneys and so on, but they've all been modified, central heating chimneys taken down and so on. But roughly that's where it was taken. As you can see in this photograph here, I've got Reginald Vernon White. I think that was his old name. Over here we had Rose Lillian White, formerly Holroyd. That's Henry Holroyd's daughter. I remember Rose very well indeed. She was tall, thin, and she was a redhead. And she always had a cigarette in her mouth. She loved a fag. Anyway, Rose and Reg had 2 children. One of those children was Terry, as you see here. That's Terry there. Later on in life, that's what Terry looked like. Not in this photo. Reg and Rose had a daughter called Anne. And that's Anne there. She had a husband. I never met him, but I believe his name was Len or Les, something like that. I can't remember. But Anne, we used to more or less talk frequently on the internet, on text, email, that sort of thing. And I think the last time we actually were in contact is when we lost our June. She can remember June. She was offering her condolences, all that sort of thing. And we had many a talk and we exchanged photographs. She did tell me about her illness, but I don't think I'll go into it here. But one thing she did say is, when she lost her other half, Les, her world more or less fell around her. They were that close. And that reminded me of this fellow in the middle here, our Roy. That was taken many years ago, that. But whenever I see Roy's photograph, I always think of this photograph here. That's Roy and May together. I like this photograph because you can see the love between the two of them. A smashing photo, I treasure that one. The other one here is wee Curly Mary, as we called her. She was more or less called Mary Holroyd, although that wasn't her proper name, but she was brought up as her family, as I said before. Later on in years, this is what Mary looked like. There's what I remember her, the wee photo down there. But that was a photograph of Mary. Every family has a story to tell, so to speak. But this is just one part of ours. Sadly, no one on this photograph is with us anymore. None of them. But it's part of my life. I'll never forget them. Never. Anyway, that's enough for now. Bye now.